Z-95. Nice.
What's up, Meta Nerds? In this complete breakdown, we'll pull everything from canon and legend sources to completely understand the Z-95 Headhunter. It was manufactured by Incom Corporation, located on Frezia. They were a company with a rich history and a knack for reinvention. Formerly known as the Toronix Inertial Compensator Corporation, they took some good advice and changed their name and are most affectionately referred to as Incom for short. This forward-thinking corporation was celebrated for its creative prowess in crafting robust starfighters, airspeeders, and transports. One of Incom's most legendary achievements was the T-65 X-Wing starfighter, a vessel that not only became their emblem, but also served as a symbol of hope for the Alliance to restore the Republic. But their innovation extended beyond this iconic craft, encompassing other fan-favorite vehicles like the I-7 Howlrunner, the versatile T-16 Skyhopper, dependable T-47 airspeeder, and the agile Z-95 Headhunter. It would cost you 80,000 credits new, 45,000 credits used, and a little more than a TIE fighter, and about half the cost of the X-Wing. Before I touch on what all that gets you, let's look at its size at a length of 16.74 meters, a width of 18.12 meters, and a height of 3.24 meters, making it about a Wookiee longer and surprisingly 2 Wooks wider and about a Jawa taller than the X-Wing. Its max atmospheric speed is 1150 km per hour, which put it in between an X-Wing and TIE fighter, which was achieved by 4 Incom 2A fission engines, and there are also maneuvering jets on the rear of the wings. Hyperdrive systems are not standard, though later fighters included a GBK-435 hyperdrive motivator. For shielding, we have the Zolin 9771 deflector shield generators, which are rated at 20 SPD, which comes out to surprisingly only 40% that of the X-Wing. And just to put that in perspective, the ISD has a 4800 SPD rating, and the Executor class Super Star Destroyer has an insane 96,000, while the hull is rated at 14 RU, nearly double a TIE, and only 70% the strength of an X-Wing. Looking at the nose, we see the sensor array with tracking computer and quick scan imaging system, along with the ZR390 Navicomputer, all manufactured by Fabritech. Fabritech was a large corporation with a wide variety of military and commercial products, a company renowned for its expertise in Starship sensor tech, and which had a long history dating back to the days of the Galactic Republic. However, it was during the Galactic Civil War that Fabritech truly flourished, thanks in large part to the influence of Kavarn Mandel, a fervent supporter of the New Order, and under his leadership, Fabritech secured a significant subcontract from Sinar Fleet Systems, providing components for TIE fighters, a move that proved pivotal for the company. Located on the planet of Fabrin, Fabritech's operations were deeply intertwined with the Mandel family. Despite their close ties to the Empire, Fabritech's products could also be found not only in Imperial ships, but also in the vessels of the Rebel Alliance. And there were rumors that Kavarn Mandel's youngest daughter, Samire Mandel, might have even joined the rebellion, adding just another element of intrigue to the company's history. What set Fabritech apart were its products' reputations for durability and longevity, as they would last for decades, even being found in cutting-edge starfighters of the New Republic and the Galactic Federation of Free Alliances. While we often talk about Kuat drive yards, there are tons of lesser-known megacorporations that could truly be seen as the only real victors of these endless cycles of galaxy-spanning wars. Back to the Z-95, looking at the end of the wings we find the laser cannons, and the body houses the concussion missile launchers. 2 linked Tamanbak KX-5 laser cannons, and 2 Krupp MG-5 concussion missile launchers with 3 missiles each. While the first, the Mark I model, came with triple blasters. There really isn't much known about this model outside these images, and all other stats are the same, but it really doesn't even look like a Z-95. Other mods on the standard Z-95 included an ion cannon and proton cannon. The starfighter earned its name from the Coromon Headhunter, the species of predatory canines native to the Coromon Islands on the planet Frezia, as the creatures employed a gruesome hunting technique. Using their formidable double-dew claws on their forelegs, they decapitated their prey and consumed every part of it, including bones and hair, but oddly enough they would keep the skull as a sort of trophy, collecting and displaying them in their dens. These dens were often adorned with stacks of skulls, creating a truly fearsome sight. Regarded as one of the most formidable fighters of its era, the Z-95 Headhunter sported distinctive features, including a bubble canopy and a pair of triple blasters positioned at the tips of its 2 variable geometry wings. Later versions opted for more precise maneuvering thrusters and advanced canopy instruments, doing away with the swing wings and bubble canopy. The credit for its sleek yet rugged design was attributed to Seti Ashgad, a scientist affiliated with Incom's hyperdrive design division. In terms of size, the original Z-95 was relatively compact at 11.8 meters. However, during the Clone Wars, Incom/Subpro designed the ARC-170, which was nearly twice the size. The clone Z-95 starfighter variant, born during this period, became the largest among these iconic creations, measuring 16.74 meters. While the Z-95 continued to see use during the early years of the New Republic, it became evident that it was being overshadowed by more advanced fighters developed in subsequent decades. Compared to the T-65, it was slower, less agile, featured lighter armor and shielding, and lacked comparable firepower. Additionally, it lacked an astromech socket, requiring its pilot to pre-program hyperspace routes or manually input jump coordinates via data chips. The Z-95's one-man cockpit was notably cramped, so on top of all that, it was just a less comfortable option for its pilots. But despite that, at least one Republic pilot said, quote, "Give me the choice, I'd take a Z-95 Headhunter every time." And Outlaw Tech Klaus Doc Vanderlante said, quote, "As long as they keep on making upgrades for this baby, the Z-95 will never become outdated." The Headhunter had its origins as a starfighter designed for the Galactic Republic, years before the Clone Wars erupted, with the prototype of this craft being known as the Onyx Star, a product of the Behalian shipyards. Following the dissolution of their partnership, Incom reportedly acquired the intellectual property rights and proprietary systems related to the Z-95. One particularly notable Z-95 was the Dicer, piloted by the Bothan Elo Bagros sometime around 31 BBY. Elo's distinctive red-on-black paint scheme made his ship instantly recognizable and struck fear into the hearts of many of his opponents. His reputation was such that the mere sight of a Headhunter was often enough to send opposing pilots into panic. The Headhunter gained popularity due to its affordability and reliability, making it a preferred choice among smugglers, outer rim organizations, local system defense forces, and aspiring young pilots dreaming of becoming fighter aces. Even pirate groups like the Nebula Front found utility in the Z-95. Despite the T-65's greater maneuverability overall, those thrusters on the engine units of the Z-95 did give it a reputation for being able to execute tighter turns. And so that's why some details on its reputation are a bit confusing. Depending on the scenario, and if you knew what you were getting into, the Z-95 might have greater maneuverability for what you were trying to accomplish. Thanks to the efforts of Starship mechanics and skilled pilots across the galaxy, there are a ton of variants that emerged. These included split-wing versions, a courier variant capable of carrying a single passenger, models equipped with alternative weapon configurations, and a training version known as the Z-95 XT Trainer, which the Rebel Alliance commonly used until it was replaced by the T-65X, the training variant for the X-Wing. In the Kularan system, the crime lord Narama utilized Z-95s for sponsored racing events on Escaron, and as armored transports for his key subsidiaries, and as armored transports for his key subordinates. 1 year before the onset of the Clone Wars, Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi found himself piloting a Z-95 belonging to Fondor's Senator Rod during a mission to Fondor. His objective was to infiltrate and destroy a counterfeit Corellian star drive transport, the Sunrunner, which was fabricated by Grotto the Hutt. Although successful in this mission, Kenobi had to rescue his Padawan, Anakin Skywalker, but crash-landed on the Fondorian jungle moon, Nalastia, while piloting a Rod-owned cloak-shaped fighter. During the Galactic Republic's campaign to retake the planet Umbara, the clone Z-95 starfighter would see active service. These versions also played a crucial role in the defense of Cato Neimoidia, under the leadership of Skywalker and his Padawan. In a fierce battle, Skywalker led the charge against the Vulture droids, creating an opening for the Z-95s to engage in dogfights with droid tri-fighters. Unfortunately, the Jedi duo was recalled from the attack to investigate an incident at the Jedi Temple, while the Republic continued its assault on the planet. On Coruscant, a reserve force of clone Z-95s was stationed within the Republic Navy base, alongside other starfighters and various personnel. These fighters were also utilized during aerial security duties at Kamino's cloning facilities, particularly at the Clone Military Education Complex. And during Skywalker's campaign to liberate Ringo Vinda, squadrons of them engaged enemy fighters around the massive space station orbiting the planet. And later they played a major role in the Outer Rim sieges, engaging droid fighters at Anaxis, which was the crucial home to the Republic's Navy shipyards. Though many of these battles resulted in heavy casualties, both the pilots and commanders always respected the Z-95, going on to play a role in the re-liberation of Cato Neimoidia and escorting Republic gunships during the Battle of Yerbana. As the war drew to a close, many Headhunters would be in the Venator-class Star Destroyer, transporting the newly formed 332nd Company of the 501st Legion. When Order 66 was enacted, the entire division, including their Z-95 pilots, turned on Ahsoka Tano. After the war had served its purpose and Palpatine was in power, the War Machine was moving on to new starfighters, and Z-95s found themselves in the hands of various parties beyond the newly formed Galactic Empire, including pirates and other underworld groups. With the rise of the X-Wing, they did become obsolescent by the time of the Galactic Civil War, but those that did get their hands on them were still proud. You could see why it had such a respected status among pilots. There was always demand for them, and you could find various merchants still selling them, being in common use as late as the Second Galactic Civil War, more than 60 years after their creation. In the corporate sector, Han Solo took the helm of an early model Z-95 Mark I, while leading the defense of an outlaw tech base against CSA IRDA fighters. However, by now that Mark I model had definitely been deemed obsolete, compared to the newer and more advanced fighter craft. Within the ranks of the rebellion, the Z-95T Headhunters found a role in close air support missions. The temporary Alliance convert squadron known as Bandit Squadron also made use of Z-95s, as well as the Mayalfarek Order in Guatica, who maintained a fleet of these now outdated fighters around the year 2 ABY. Mara Jade utilized a hyperdrive-equipped Headhunter during the Thrawn crisis, hers being equipped with a single center-mounted ion cannon instead of the standard concussion missile launchers. Jaina Solo's first ship, the Crystal, was a Z-95 Headhunter, and Jaden Korr operated a hyperdrive-equipped Headhunter as well, named the Far Wanderer, which he would use on missions to various worlds including Bakura, Hoth, and Korriban. Another prominent New Republic member who proudly employed a Headhunter was Tycho Selchu during the reformation of Rogue Squadron, although the armaments were notably reduced due to suspicions of his ties to the Empire. In the mission to retake Coruscant in 7 ABY, 5 Headhunters played a crucial role in the mission's closing stages. Following the conflict, the 4 that survived were sold to various museums to raise funds for Rogue Squadron's attack on Thifera, which shows both how desperate they were, but also the strange cult-like love for these ships. Even though they had been long retired from military service, Z-95s were made a favored choice among smugglers, gangsters, pirates, and all kinds of people engaged in both legitimate and illicit enterprises. This enduring popularity persisted even 29 years after the Galactic Civil War, with Resistance pilot Poe Dameron acquiring 3 Z-95s for a covert mission referred to as Operation Saber Strike. During the Battle of Exegol in 35 ABY, pilots with the Citizens Fleet took to the skies, and the starfighter that just always seemed to survive and find its way into new conflicts, underscoring the enduring legacy of these versatile starfighters in the galaxy's ever-evolving conflicts. So that's it for the breakdown, and as for cool stuff and behind the scenes facts, we got the case of the modified ship that could carry 2 people, but on the RPG adventure The Price of Business, there's a really strange occurrence documented where a Z-95 supposedly transported Len Marcus and around 15 other people, which maybe we could attribute to extensive modifications, or just a potential typo. But you gotta imagine that modifications this extensive would basically make it another ship, not really a variant. Within the Imperial Navy, TIE pilots commonly referred to Z-95s as skulls, perhaps due to the distinctive skull-like design of the fighter at certain angles. Though interestingly, and likely unknowingly, it's funny that it matches up with the animal that it was based on. Remember, they used to collect the skulls of their prey. If you want to unlock one in Jedi Starfighter, you can enter the cheat code Headhunt. And when they made their appearance in the Clone Wars TV show, starting with the episode Darkness on Umbara, it was originally designated as a separate class called the Z-95 Headhunter. But that was just an error and not meant to be a different ship. And they put a lot of work into the design of the ship, trying to avoid visual similarities to the iconic T-65 X-Wing, but actually drew inspiration from the artist Colin Cantwell's original concept for the X-Wing, which is a really cool, creative nod to this design. And if you made it this far, please hit that like button, it's the best way to help me out. Subscribe to see more and check out these videos, I'm sure you'll like them. But most important of all, remember, no design can truly die off if it has the support of a modding community. And the Force will be with you, always.